If you want to hate America, watch the news. If you want to love America, drive across it. This quote is becoming symbolic of the greatest awakening of 2026. For decades, the world media has portrayed America as a post-apocalyptic wasteland with rampant crime and a society on the verge of collapse. However, when thousands of European tourists flocked here for the World Cup, they were met with a stark contrast. Instead of hostility, they encountered warm strangers who called them music sweethearts. Instead of scarcity, they were stunned by the enormous Costco supermarkets and Buc-ee's rest stop, which is considered the eighth wonder of the world. They realized they had been brainwashed by misinformation. While America itself remained a beacon of optimism and an insane excess, it is time to put aside the television screen and face the truth. America is not declining. It is simply operating at a level the rest of the world cannot comprehend. America is morally collapsing. This is a familiar rhetoric that the media of the former continent has been chewing on repeatedly for a decade. They painted a picture of a society rife with hatred where people were willing to rush in, and then thousands of European tourists arrived on flights with the mindset of but the first culture shock did not come from the skyscrapers but from a casual roadside airy. In England or France, a stranger's smile is sometimes perceived as a threat or a pretense. But here, the waitresses warmly greet you with the word sweetheart, as naturally as breathing. It caused Europeans who were accustomed to coldness to melt. American hospitality is on another level to the UK. In the UK, when you want to get served by someone in a shop or a restaurant, it feels like that they do not really want to be there. They do not really want to help you. In the US, it is almost unrealistic how much these people want to help you. And this has happened everywhere I have been. In a gun shop yesterday, I was so intrigued by guns. I wanted to shoot them. Silly enough, I thought that you could just go to any gun shop, and there is a shooting range. That is not the case. But they still let me hold the guns, talk to me about them, spend some time showing me around the shop. And they gave me a little patch to commemorate me just going to the shop. Then getting the cowboy hat. Everyone was super friendly. The guy stayed with me for ages fitting it, helping me pick one, etc. It is incredible. And then the restaurants are another level as well. I have loved my time in America. All the people are just so friendly. Again, I think I just need to move it. This kindness is not cheap. Tourists have witnessed crazy moments when people are willing to leave tips of $50 to $100 just in return for warm service, an amount that in Europe you could use to pay off bank music installments. Americans are not just serving food. They are attacking you with kindness and melted cheese. Look at how Boston treated Scotland's Tartan Army. Instead of barricades and riot police in front of a frenzied crowd, the mayor of Boston declared Glasgow a sister city. What was the result? Thousands of Scots drank the city's beer to their heart's content. But instead of rioting, they joined the local police in dancing in the streets. These invaders eventually felt guilty for carrying the false stereotype of an aggressive America for years. But the culmination of this reflection lies in moments of silence. Many tourists were truly moved by a flag-lowering ceremony. Everyone stopped, removed their hats, and remained completely silent. It shows an America that is not as chaotic as the news suggests. It is a community with deep respect and a strong shared identity. Americans live with the energy of the protagonist, optimistic and hopeful. Meanwhile, the British admit they often wake up feeling exhausted and waiting for something bad to happen. America is not dying. It is simply operating on an energy frequency that those who sit at home watching the news can never pick up. Now, instead of scathing analyses, what is flooding TikTok and YouTube is a wave of videos with the title, "Sorry, America." Americans, I need to apologize to you. Before I came to this country, I believed everything negative I saw in the news. I saw things about how everyone was rude, how everyone tried to rip you off, and how people just genuinely do not get on. I have now been here over 2 weeks, and I can confirm that that is not the truth. Everyone has been so friendly to me. Everyone wants to talk to me. Everyone's been giving me advice about my trip, and just genuinely being so helpful. American hospitality is definitely a real thing, guys. And I am all here for it. If a waitress calls you sweetheart, would you blush with embarrassment or tip a $100 bill instead in true American style? Between the aristocratic coolness of London and the hot hospitality of Texas. Where is the place where you truly feel like you are living? Music clearly. The Americans won the first round in terms of human numbers. They were not rude. They were just too busy to be true to their feelings. But do not be too moved by the people, because it is the architectural and technological sanctuaries they build in the next installment that will truly amaze you with their grandeur. If you sit in London or Paris and listen to the media tell stories, you will believe that America is a post-apocalyptic wasteland. They painted a picture of a collapsing nation where crime was rampant and infrastructure was dilapidated. But when thousands of Europeans landed in Texas or Georgia, the graveyard of their imagination suddenly transformed into a civilization operating on a scale that the rest of the world simply could not comprehend. Look at this fact. While Qatar or Russia have to burn tens of billions of dollars to build new stadiums for the World Cup, Americans just look around and ask, will our existing billion-dollar cathedrals be usable? And the answer is, not only are they usable, they also flap every stereotype about decay in the face. Europeans were truly shocked to learn that even university stadiums can accommodate between 80,000 and over 100,000 spectators on a typical Thursday. Best World Cup stadium in the U.S. Check this out. Olympics right over there. The music sound. Let me come over here and wait for the view. We got the stadium. Let us go. What a backdrop. Come on. It can get 35 degrees C outside, but once inside, their air conditioning system is so powerful it could freeze a mammoth. It is like watching football in a giant air-conditioned movie theater, not a regular stadium. Upon leaving the stadium, the next shock was the road system. In Texas, roads as wide as 26 lanes leave Japanese and European tourists speechless with amazement. You heard that right, 26 lanes. The parking lots here are so huge that the British liken them to the size of a small country. Look at that. Katy Freeway I-10, the biggest, widest road in the world. Driving along those highways are giant trucks. Pickup trucks, which make Europe's small cars look like children's toys. And behold, even the smallest details look exactly like something straight out of a Hollywood movie. The distinctive mailboxes at doorsteps, fire hydrants on every street corner, and sprawling garden mansions instead of the cramped matchbox-like houses of England. Contrary to news reports of filth and chaos, tourists found the cities hosting the World Cup to be incredibly tidy and clean. America is simply too big, too powerful, and too modern for souls accustomed to cramped spaces to tolerate immediately. Would you dare to drive on a 1-2-lane road without breaking a sweat? Or would you be reminded of the narrow, winding streets of your hometown? If stadiums in America were sanctuaries, would you want to go to church service every weekend to enjoy that mammoth freezing air conditioning? This magnificent infrastructure is just the outer framework. The insane excess lies within the retail empires you are about to enter, where even a box of eggs might make you rethink the concept of shopping. Welcome to Walmart, often referred to by Europeans as the Eiffel Tower of retail. Forget about the cramped, quiet department stores in Paris or Berlin. Here you will find yourself facing a long, winding corridor filled only with grains packaged in glowing colors as if they came from the future. The real shock only came when you looked at the price list. 60 eggs for a mere $7. That is enough to make any European housewife tightening her belt freeze. Oh, this is paradise right here. Oh God, I want to buy all of them. I want to, yeah. Here we are. The milk. Hey. $7 for music 60 eggs. I do not know about the quality of these eggs, but for the price, I will buy them every day. If Walmart is a slap in the face, then Costco is a forgotten Atlantis that the French have just unearthed. They were completely crushed by the American business philosophy. Everything has to be huge. So, we are currently at the Museum Costco. Oh, some lovely food over here. Lauder. Is that the new stadium for the wholesale packages were towering. The source containers were the size of buckets, and the trays of meat were enough to feed an entire regiment. Witnessing this horrific scale, many tourists exclaimed that they wanted to revolutionize, and immediately brought this entire Costco model back to France. But the pinnacle of madness must be called buys, dubbed the eighth wonder of the retail world. Calling this a rest stop or a gas station is an insult, because why would a rest stop be so big as to contain an entire city inside like this, with over 100 continuously operating gas pumps and a toilet system considered among the cleanest on the planet? Buys resembles a more recreational sanctuary. You come in here to refuel, but then come out with a hot smoked brisket, some handmade fudge, and a set of clothes and household items. Furthermore, the British were completely devastated at Harris Taa when they discovered a shocking truth. There was an entire pub and bar standing prominently inside the supermarket. You can easily grab a cold beer and leisurely push your shopping cart. This absolute convenience where you can buy everything from a TV and a fishing rod to a carton of milk in a single stop redefines the word freedom. That is unlimited consumer freedom. While international broadcasters are preoccupied with analyzing a shaky American economy, the shelves here remain so overflowing that they stun any skeptic, buying 60 eggs at once. Are you planning to make fried eggs for the whole neighborhood? Or are you plotting to open a home bakery? And do the gentlemen and ladies here prefer the experience of pushing a shopping cart while sipping a glass of fine wine? Or do they want to return to the long, arduous queues and tiring waits at traditional European supermarkets? America has shown the world what the pinnacle of abundance is. They not only know how to produce, they know how to turn spending money into an exciting art form. But shopping is a thing of the past. Now look at how Americans enjoy life, the energy they call the main character's aura. A nation exhausted and deeply divided. That is the familiar rhetoric that scholars from the former continent used to outline America today. But when confronted directly with reality, European tourists realize a bitter truth. They are the ones who are truly tired and stuck. Let us look at this classic contrast. An Englishman stepped out of bed frowning, tired, and with the preconceived notion that something bad is bound to happen today. But across the Atlantic, Americans wake up to something called main character energy. They absolutely believe that today will be a great day, and they are in control of it. Americans speak loudly, are open, and are not afraid to show support for one another. In London or Paris, if you talk about a bold business idea, people will either laugh at you or find reasons to back down. And what about in the US? The answer you always get is, "How can I help you?" This optimism is not just an empty slogan. It is an operating system. British tourists visiting here feel like they have stepped from a dreary black and white film from their homeland into a vibrant, colorful tapestry. Americans have a mindset that is extreme. They are not afraid of failure. If a plan falls apart, they just shrug. It is not working, is it? I will think of something else. That spirit is present in every corner. From American flags flying everywhere, not out of extreme nationalism, but as symbols of a proud community, to the actions of security forces. At the World Cup, instead of standing solemnly with batons like European police, American police were willing to jump in, dance, high-five, and mingle with the fans. The emotional generosity and a vision that always encourages people to dream big, take big risks, have created a breathtakingly positive atmosphere. As a result, thousands of European tourists frankly admitted after the trip they wanted to move to America immediately. Do you want to be a brilliant main character who clears throat, decides his own destiny, or continue to be a grumpy extras who blame circumstances? If given the choice, would you opt for a bland cup of tea in the English drizzle or a refreshing beer under the fiery Texas sun? Clearly, the life energy of Americans cannot be extinguished by any negative news article. But spirit alone is not enough. That immense energy needs to be nourished by a commensurate material support, heartless meals, and insane consumer privileges that we will explore shortly. If the American mindset is a mental shock, then upon entering their culinary world, European tourists will be subjected to a direct attack on their stomachs. The stereotype of a scarce and expensive America completely crumbles in the face of extreme over-up. The first shock was called free refills. This concept made Europeans tremble with envy. In England or France, ordering an extra glass of soda can be expensive and as hesitant as paying off a bank loan. But in America, the idea that you drink it all up and then have it measured is an unwritten rule, a self-evident fact. And let us talk about size. The meals here are designed as if they were for giants. A quesadilla the size of a human head or a burger overflowing with cheese costing only $10 completely stuns visitors. Americans seem obsessed with excess giant ice cups that have their own area code because they are so big, and Dr. Pepper glasses that are as large as a mini swimming pool. This absurdity is happening everywhere at ridiculously low prices. Tourists were amazed to see five-star quality breakfast appearing on every street corner at affordable prices. Try walking into Waffle House at 1 a.m. and you will find a vibrant dining experience that is just like a reality TV show. Or stop by Crumble Cookies, where a cookie costs $4, but is unbelievably big and delicious. European health experts often warn their citizens that they will gain weight uncontrollably upon arriving in the U.S. due to meals of up to 10,000 calories at family-run restaurants. Here, the giant steak-eating contests are not just advertising gimmicks. There are cultural phenomenon where Europeans simply sit back and sweat their flesh. American culinary creativity is also wild. Corn dogs costing just $99, or the bizarre combination of burgers and waffles. America is not just giving you food. They are using kindness, ice, and melted cheese to redefine what constitutes consumer privilege. Are you confident enough to face and eat an entire head-sized portion in a single sitting? And with the free refill privilege, will you drink until your stomach blooms to recoup your investment? Or will you know when to stop like a dapper gentleman? This excess is not a random occurrence or a senseless waste. It is the product of an extremely efficient operating system, an economy that constantly urges people to produce more, to work harder, to achieve more. Upon entering American society, European tourists are immediately drawn into the whirlwind of hustle culture. Here, people do not work to survive day by day. They work to conquer new heights. There is a truth to this. Compared to the heavy, cumbersome tax system in Europe that crippled society, the American system operates on a much fairer principle. You do as much as you can to realize your dreams. In America, if you have big ambitions, society will praise you. And what about in Europe? It is very easy to be labeled as greedy and selfish. It is this respect for ambition that creates a business environment with limitless opportunities to connect, leverage capital flows, and meet like-minded individuals. It is so powerful that thousands of wealthy Canadians and Europeans are willing to give up their original passports in exchange for U.S. citizenship, just for the chance to jump into this dynamic economy. The compelling figures prove it. It's the world's best economy where the future is always bigger than the past. The American dream is not dead. It is simply undergoing a more dramatic transformation in the new technological era. The personal freedom here allows you to build your own life without being constrained by rigid regulations. Look at the middle-class suburbs, detached houses, lush green lawns, and a sense of pride etched on the faces of each homeowner. It is economic optimism, the absolute belief that tomorrow will be stronger than today. Would you dare to try hustle for a life-changing trip to the sun-drenched paradise of Miami? And really, what is your ultimate dream? A peaceful home with an English-style garden, or a powerful cross-state business empire in America? America's energy and prosperity are clearly an undeniable reality. So why did we once believe this place was dying? Let us move on to the final part to expose the mastermind behind those great lies. The recent World Cup was more than just a purely sporting event. It inadvertently became the greatest natural PR campaign in American history. It completely shattered the sophisticated media drama that Europeans had been besieged by for decades. Why is there such a terrible discrepancy between what people think and what they see about America? The answer lies in the news gaps of major television stations in Europe. To retain audiences, algorithms and broadcasters focus on exploiting only two things: divisive politics and extremist crime. It is an industry that seeks views through anger. They absolutely never reported on the safety and cleanliness of middle-class neighborhoods, or the pure kindness of ordinary Americans. But when millions of tourists arrive here, they bring with them a cutting-edge weapon: TikTok and YouTube. It was the unedited real-life footage from tourists that created a new wave of media coverage, completely drowning out systemic lies. There is a golden saying: if you want to hate America, watch the news. If you want to love America, drive through it yourself. The awakening occurred immediately. Tourists were shocked to realize they had been suffering from brainwashing for years. Meanwhile, the American people simply smiled gently. We told you America was great, but you did not believe us. Real-life experience has ultimate power. It erases all prejudices accumulated over 10 years in just 90 minutes of a match. A wave of fans from England, France, and Germany have simultaneously posted videos apologizing for having previously thought badly of the United States. This country is clearly not perfect. It still has its own cracks and pressing problems, but its decline and collapse are absolutely not. Their inner vitality is undeniable. The lesson here is simple. Never let algorithms dictate how you see the world. Experience it for yourself and see for yourself. America has helped the world rediscover itself.